I was a terrible illustrator for about 2.5 years. I got a handful of paid projects, but nothing worth mentioning. I never really found my style, I never felt confident, I didn't know how to make progress, and I didn't try hard enough. I didn't make any kind of impact on the industry at all. I failed, and I want to talk about quitting and failing in this video. I had a pretty good network of creative friends though, all way better and more skilled than I was. And when I came across a potential project, my first thought was usually, I know the perfect person for this project, and it wasn't me. So I thought maybe I could be the one connecting clients with illustrators instead. I didn't really know what agents were at the time, but I figured, how hard could it be? I did a couple of short, unpaid internships at agencies. Then I jumped in. I recruited a bunch of illustrators, some who are doing really well now, no thanks to me. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, obviously. I shut the whole thing down after about a year. I failed, again. And that one hit me a lot harder because it wasn't just me this time. Other people had trusted me and I'd let them down. I struggled to pick myself up after that one. I started working behind a bar, drinking too much, feeling like a failure. I was depressed for about 4 years. Couldn't see a way out, couldn't save any money. I gave up on illustration completely. Sold all my gear, packed up all my books and left them at my parents' garage where they stayed for the next 5 years. I started working in a school for naughty kids eventually, which was interesting, but all the ambition I used to have just got buried. I was too ashamed of myself to even think about illustration again, so I quit for 5 years. But then something happened. Complete luck, I met someone and I ended up moving to London to be with them. I had no money and no plan, but that change of environment gave me exactly the jolt that I needed. I knew I wasn't cut out to be an illustrator, and I was okay with that, but my interest in the industry started bubbling up again. So I wrote to a few agencies. They weren't advertising any jobs, but that didn't matter. You don't need to wait for a job to be advertised to apply. Some didn't reply, a few did. I had 2 or 3 interviews, and one of them took a chance on me. And I think those failures worked in my favour because they had stripped any youthful arrogance from me. Not that a bit of youthful confidence is a bad thing in healthy doses, but I was ready to start from the bottom and learn properly. I also understood what it was like to be an illustrator struggling for work. Those failures, as painful as they were experience. It took me a while to appreciate that, but failing at something and being able to see why you failed is very useful information. I learned the ropes, I worked my way up, and here I am 10 years later in a position to help people who are where I was at the start of my career. God knows what I'd be doing now if I hadn't seized that opportunity. It makes me shudder just thinking about it. If I could go back to when I was failing the hardest, here's what I'd tell myself and what I'd do differently. Pick one clear direction for your portfolio. Don't try to be everything to everyone. One of my biggest mistakes was jumping between styles and subjects, hoping something would stick. Pick one style you enjoy and could imagine doing for years and go all in. Also talk to other illustrators, not just for support, but to understand what actually gets work in your chosen area of the industry. I didn't ask enough questions, and when I did, I waited too long to act on the answers. I would learn the business side as early as possible, and that's what this channel is all about. Understanding pricing, contracts, and how clients actually find illustrators. Even if you want to get an agent one day, knowing how this works will protect you and make you more confident. I would do more things before I was ready. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll never start. Make something, share it, then improve the next one. The faster you complete work, the faster you'll figure out what's working and what's not. And I would look for small wins first. Instead of aiming for a dream client straight away, focus on stacking up small projects that build your confidence and your portfolio and your network. A lot of new illustrators, they're aiming for the New Yorker, New York Times, all that kind of thing. But there's so much competition there. Start small and work your way up. But the biggest thing of all, I want to go back and absolutely shout at myself, is to try harder, actually show up every day and give it 100%. If I'd have done that, I might not have failed at all. Who knows? But what I do know is I didn't give it everything I had, and I regret it. That's why I try so hard at my various projects now, because I never want to have that kind of regret again, wondering if I could have made it work if I'd tried a bit harder. And if you want to figure out where you are in your illustration career right now, I've put together a short Illustration Career Quiz. It only takes 2 minutes, it's completely private, and you'll get a quick snapshot of your strengths, your gaps, and some ideas of what to focus on next. It also helps me make more videos that are going to be useful for you. So if you've got a couple of minutes, I'd be really grateful if you could give it a go, and there's a link in the description. Illustration is quite difficult at the moment, so here's what I'd tell anyone who's feeling stuck or lost right now. First, failure isn't just failure. If you can bring yourself to look at it honestly and figure out what went wrong, you're already doing better than most people. That's not easy. It took me about 5 years to be able to think like that about my own failures. But there's no shame in trying and failing. It's experience that you can build on, even if it didn't go the way you'd hoped. Most people don't get it right on their first try. And second, it's okay to take a break. Your career isn't over if it didn't work out straight away. Sometimes we need a bit of distance and perspective to see things clearly and figure out what to do better next time. And finally, when you spot an opportunity, grab it with both hands around the ears. Even if you're not ready, even if you feel like an imposter, most people wait too long until they feel confident or ready. But confidence comes after the leap, not before. If I hadn't taken a chance on writing those cold emails to agencies, I honestly don't know what I'd be doing. And if you're in that place right now, doubting yourself, feeling stuck, just know that you're not alone. You are allowed to start again. You are allowed to fail. You're allowed to try something different for a while. It doesn't mean you've wasted time. It just means you've got something to build on. It also means you could be one email away from a life-changing opportunity. So if you're thinking about giving up or you're thinking about trying to get back in, that's what this channel is here for. I make videos to help illustrators move forward, even if it's really slow progress. I make the videos I needed when I was starting out in the industry. If you need help growing your illustration career, make sure to subscribe. You might also like this video about how to get into illustration. See you next time.